It's lovely to be having a quick virtual cuppa with Brian May. I've got to say, you don't get to do that very often. How are you, Brian?
I'm all right. I'm frustrated by all this technology. I can only just deal with it, really.
Do you know
It
what?
makes my head go weird. Like the delays and everything is so frustrating.
I think that this is one thing we're all learning through self isolation. We're all becoming a little bit more tech savvy. I mean, not much, but a little
Mm.
bit because we have to go on it so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its advantages. The fact that we're not in cars and trains and planes going to meetings, but doing this instead has got to be good. I think we should keep some of that. I just wish the technology was a bit more friendly, that's all.
Yeah, indeed. Although my 8-year-old seems to cope very easily with it, which is so frustrating.
But here we are.
And here we are. We're fine just now. I love that loads of people are occupying themselves in different ways during self isolation. You must be the only person that's made a pop video.
Yeah, I think it was a first, really. I mean, it's more down to Talia than me because she's the mastermind. But yes, the video is probably the first one achieved, the first sort of proper video achieved in lockdown conditions. And hats off to Talia and her mates, really, and the girls. Yeah, and it's very jolly. The nice thing is it relates to actually being in lockdown, which the song does as well. So it speaks to people who are vacuuming and having trouble getting up in the morning, and finding that every day is the same as the next. There's all this sort of stuff is kind of in the video, which is lovely because it speaks of the time and place that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know that this is for anyone that doesn't know, Talia is part of a band called King's Daughters, which have basically been around almost 2 years now. But Brian has basically helped them, and you've been helping produce this first track of theirs as well, haven't you? And you're in it, the video.
Yeah, I produced it and co-wrote it with Talia. Although the ideas, all the lyrical ideas came from her. Um, and having great fun. And I always thought, when I'm not a naturally jolly person, really. I mean, some people think I am because I'm jolly on videos, but I tend to be a kind of thoughtful, introspective kind of person, and at the worst, I'm a depressive. So hearing this song really gave me a charge. I just had a really good feeling about it, and that's why I got Talia in the studio, because we've known each other for years, but we've never actually gone in and worked together until this particular song. And it was a blast doing it. You can see little bits of video. I think Talia's put some up of us in the studio enjoying ourselves and doing this thing which kind of came out of the chorus little whoa 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 thing. And so this is what we have to offer at the moment. It's funny because normally you wouldn't want to launch a group in this situation because you can't do the physical launch, you can't have a party, you can't go out and play gigs. They were all set to do these shows, can't do it now, of course. So all you've got is this. All you've got is the sort of virtual media. Nevertheless, we thought this song speaks to people so much at the moment. This is the time for the song. So we went for it.
Yeah. And also the great thing is that 10% of all proceeds from this track as well is going to Mind, which is, out there trying to work with people and help improve their mental health, which obviously is something that's very on point considering we're all at home, and quite for a lot of people who are on their own, that's a difficult time at the moment.
Yeah, I think that the psychological damage is on a par with the physical damage that this virus is doing. Yeah, I think we're all in such unfamiliar territory. And there's a kind of grieving process, I think, that goes on for your former life. And a lot of us need help with it. I mean, I put on a fairly jolly front. I've been doing these concerts at night, these my little micro concerts, playing the guitar on Instagram. But there's moments in me when I get very, very blue, and have trouble coping. Actually, today is one of them. I'm not great today. It's nice to talk to you, and it gives structure to the day to be doing this with you. But I wasn't great today. I got up today, and I always get on my bike. That's my physical stuff, and that helps. That gives me it helps me mentally as well as physically. But then I got off the bike and thought, okay, I got an interview. That means I got to get ready, and but I think it's tough. I mean, those of us who are used to having busy lives, it's a complete restructure. And I think those of us who are used to structures find it very difficult not to have a structure. We have to make our own structure. Um, and I'm used to freedom. I'm used to being able to get up in the morning and say, okay, we could go to we could go to Australia today. We could travel the world. We could play to anyone. We're very free. All of that went. Suddenly, I was stuck in a house and unable to go anywhere. And I find it tough. I still do. I must say, it's almost like I feel like a part of me has been cut off, like my legs have been cut off. It's not a good feeling.
Are you working to like a schedule then? Have you, because as you say, a lot of people have structure. Do you get up at the same time every day? Do you kind of know what you're going to have for breakfast, or are you forming bad habits and becoming a bit lazy?
We've got very unstructured, I think. I mean, I'm with Anita, my wife, and normally there is a structure. We've kind of slipped into staying up very late, and by the time we get to like 1 in the morning, we're thinking, well, we've actually done a lot today. We need to sit down and unwind, and we unwind to about 3 films, and then it's much too late. Sometimes I've been going to bed at 5, 6, 7. Mind you, this is not totally unusual with me. And then, of course, you feel like crap the next day. You miss a lot of the next day. So no, I'm not in a very healthy routine at the moment. And at the same time, I'm very busy because all kinds of people are asking me to do stuff. It's immense. My inbox is filled with people saying, will you do this video for us? Will you interact on this? Because I started this business of playing on the internet, and now it's become huge, and I'm sort of victim of my own success, if you like. So everybody wants to collaborate. Wonderful, great, but I don't have the time, and I'm sort of a bit sad about that. I want to hear all the stuff that people have done with me, and I can't. There just isn't that amount of time. And the last couple of nights, I haven't done any playing. I did a backing track for Kerry, which is nice. I did the potato thing with Matt Lucas, and I think with Gary Barlow. There's a whole list of things, but I'm back in that place where I'm thinking, okay, what do I do for myself, for my own well-being? I'm trying to put out this business of let's be jolly and let's be creative, but for me, there are moments when it's hard.
Yeah. Do you find that, does music help you? Because my goodness, for so many people, music is one of the keys to helping them switch off, stay feeling positive. Does that work for you as well?
Yes, it does, actually. And one of the things I've done in the last couple of weeks is go into my old record collection. Now, this is thanks to my lovely daughter, who got me a whole new cabinet for my LPs and singles from the day when we were kids, when I was kids. And so I'm working through all the stuff that inspired me when I was a kid, and I think made me want to be what I am today, a musician. And that's fascinating. I'm finding it very inspiring. So I've been listening to like Lonnie Donegan, Connie Francis, Little Richard, all the things which are in me and made me want to be a musician, made me want to reach out to people in the same way as those people reached out to me. So that's what I'm doing. Music is good for me. Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I find amazing is that because so much time now is spent with us battling technology, but learning from people online, there's lots of stars out there who are sharing their skills. So, like my daughter has been trying, when she found out I was chatting to you, she's been trying to learn on the guitar some of Queen's songs. She's 8, it's too hard for her. And so we need to work out which song would be a good starting point. But have you not been asked to do online guitar lessons yet? Because there'd be loads of people who'd be interested.
Well, I did sort of slip into doing it. In fact, that's the way I started, really. The first few micro concerts or whatever were, here's how I play this riff. And then it sort of moved over. It became like, oh, we want to play with you. We want to jam with you. And so I think I've slipped into doing more of a performance thing so that people can jam with me. Yeah. And recently, something very interesting happened because I put out a We Are the Champions track, complete, short but complete, and lots of people played along with that. But one of the people that played along was Rog, our Queen drummer.
Yeah.
And so that became a very interesting thing. It opened the possibility that, who knows, perhaps you can make records this way. Now, it's not ideal because you cannot actually sync up because of the delays. All you can do is record something and then the next person plays on top and then the next person. But it can be done that way, sort of sequential overdubbing, if you like. So that's opened up a whole sort of world of opportunities, I think, to me, in my mind.
Of course, as well, you could be teaching the world a bit more about astrophysics as well.
Yeah, if I knew anything about astrophysics. Yes, I could be doing that. In fact, strange enough, the astrophysics has slipped a bit because I found myself drawn so much into music. I thought I would have more time, but I do interact behind the scenes a lot with my friends in NASA. There's a very interesting project coming up, which I must Instagram, which is taking a 3D picture effectively of some nearby stars. And that sounds impossible, but because the New Horizons probe is so far away from us now, way out beyond the orbit of Pluto, you've got a very long baseline between what it can see and what we can see on the Earth. So you could make a 3D picture by taking a picture of the same patch of sky at the same time. So that's what we're doing. And I haven't made much noise about it yet, but this involves amateurs all around the world. So again, it's a good thing to collaborate on, and I think which you can do in isolation, luckily.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know actually, because if you do like stargazing, I mean, in the video for the song that we're talking about, Get Up, you
Mm.
actually recorded on the roof. Is that the roof of your house?
I did, yeah.
I heard that there were a lot of pigeons that day as well.
Yeah, yeah, there's always pigeons. Yeah, they're my friends, and they're always up there. I go up there quite a lot actually because it's to me it's quite therapeutic, and I love to be up there at sunset because there's something about sunsets. I don't like to miss a sunset really because it sort of gives you a feeling of the earth turning and another day and what have I done in my day and what will tomorrow be. I find it's a nice kind of reckoning point. So yes, I was up there. It wasn't my idea. It was Talia's idea. She says, you're often up on the roof and you've published pictures on Instagram of you on the roof with the chimneys and the birds. She said, well, why don't you do your piece for this video up there? So I did, and it was a beautiful day, sunshine, blue sky. And I set up, because I've got no camera team, obviously, I set up the camera on a tripod and then just kind of mimed along. And then I looked at the pictures and I thought, yeah, this is really nice. It's also kind of evocative of me on the roof of Buckingham Palace, which was sort of unintentional, really. But I guess I'm known for playing guitars on roofs, and
That's your thing. That is your thing.
it was
When
a
you next
thing.
when you do your tour next year, you're going to have to get some height for your performance, because that's one of the other things about this whole unsettling time. There's a lot of events that have been pushed back, obviously,
Oh
and
yeah.
then your concerts were is one of them. So we're now
Oh
June, isn't it? We're looking at.
yeah, it was heartbreaking to cancel, really, or to postpone, because we sold 400,000 tickets, and we're on a roll, from. And it's a great show that we took all around Asia and Australia and New Zealand. And actually, talking about height, I do have height in the show because I ascend on an asteroid and I play in the middle of space, and I wanted to bring all this back to Britain. And of course, we couldn't. It's been postponed to this time next year. And well, let's just hope, fingers crossed, that we can actually do that. I don't know when it's going to be wise to get a large number of people in a confined space. The O2, it'll be like, what is it, 15,000 people. And it's a large space, but it is a space. And I don't know if that's going to be healthy. I think someone's going to have to take a view. If we don't have a vaccine by then, I don't know what the safety implications of that are. So we're hoping against hope that we can be out there this time next year. But I guess it's in the lap of the gods.
I bet there'll be loads of fans praying that it is, because I mean it's a big
Mm,
year next year as well for Queen. Let's be honest as well. It's the 30th anniversary of Freddie as
mm.
well, and I know that's not till November. It's 24th of November, isn't it? Is there? Would you be doing something to commemorate that date as well?
The date of his death, you mean?
Yeah,
I don't celebrate it. I really don't. It's not a day that I want to do anything except, put a picture up of him and think about him. I don't want to be out kind of doing celebration things. I celebrate his birth, and I celebrate every day his achievements. I think I don't celebrate that terrible day when we got the phone call and Freddie's gone. It's not a thing I like to dwell on, and I don't think it's necessarily healthy to do so.
fair enough. Completely understand. Well, then looking into the positive future, we have got the concerts, hopefully. You guys and Adam, who's amazing, who is absolutely brilliant. Can I ask, will we ever see you guys record an album with original Queen material?
The answer is I don't know. It's a very simple answer. I really don't know.
You call this time to write on your hands right now.
Yeah, but it's time when you end up doing other things, isn't it? Strangely enough. I mean, I thought, this is diverging, but I thought I was going to finish off writing my T.R. Williams book, which is a bit more academic. He's my hero in the stereoscopic world. I thought, yeah, I'll have loads of time to write this and finish it off. I haven't so much as written a word. There's been so much going on. We've been so busy. So writing, I mean, I do write every day music in a sense. I'm always putting little bits and pieces down. It used to be on tape, but now I do it on the iPhone. So I'm writing in the sense of putting ideas down. I'm not collating the ideas to make pieces of music because I'm not in the studio. I really need the studio to do that, I think.
Right, fair enough.
And I can't get to my studio, which is very sad. I can't be with my people who would enable me to make tracks.
Are you missing anything, you know, are you missing anything that maybe you took for granted before lockdown?
So much, yeah. Well, we talked about freedom, but also I'm missing all my children and all my grandchildren. And that's hard. You know, I had a regime of being able to keep in touch with them and physically, you know, I guess you take for granted the hug, you know, you take the physical hug that you give them when you see them and then you say goodbye. And yes, we do a bit of Skype and stuff, but that's hard. I find it hard, you know, being cut off. It's the great leveler, isn't it? The COVID thing, you know, all this, you can have all the sort of fame and fortune and money and whatever in the world. It can't enable you to hug your grandchild. And I find that hard.
I know. I tell you what, a hug will be far more meaningful once we get out of here, won't it? It really will. Before I let you go, there have been a lot of people that we said have been using music to kind of cheer them up at this time. And there's a man in Glasgow. Have you seen him? He's been out entertaining all his neighbours. He's a surgeon, a former surgeon, Mike, and he's been out as you, keeping all his neighbourhood entertained. Did you see his video that went viral?
No, I haven't. I've heard about this. I haven't seen that yet. Somebody's going to have to send me a link.
Yeah, we will send you that link.
Okay, that'd be great.
I tell you what, he does a great job, and everyone's out there singing and dancing and clapping and cheering along. It's brilliant. It just shows how your music does bring people together.
It's great. It's wonderful, actually. I have felt that during the lockdown thing. I felt that Queen music has come to the fore again as a great vehicle for people feeling togetherness. It's something that I'm proud of, and I think it started off as an unconscious thing with us as a band, and it became a very conscious thing. From We're the Champions and We Will Rock You onwards, we were encouraging people to be part of the act, and that's still the case. The Queen music is very interactive, and we were always very much a kind of people's band. You know, we were not, I don't know what we were not, but we were a people's band. You know, we were people who we were someone, you know, I don't know if I can even put it into words very clearly, but the sense of cohesion that we felt and that we felt that we generated was very real. And we traveled the world regardless of political boundaries. And we found that people everywhere had the same feeling. They wanted to interact. They wanted to sing together, to feel united. And it's not nationalism, it's a kind of internationalism, which I love. You know, I think we as a species should feel it more. I don't want to get into Brexit. Nobody talks about Brexit anymore, do they? But to me, Brexit was, which is great, Brexit was going the wrong way. You know, Brexit is making us isolated, you know, an island. I want to see us part of a community, a world community. And you know what? If we had established a world community that understood pandemics, we wouldn't be in the mess we are now. I think this has really told us so clearly, we have to be internationally on the watch for things that we need to combat and things which we need to embrace. Now, I'm part of a community which is talking about possible asteroid impacts. That's the same thing. If there's a big asteroid, it's not just one country has to deal with it. The whole world would have to deal with it. So we need to be prepared on a world basis. And the next time there's a pandemic or a meteor strike, we need a world organization which springs into action and is prepared and has the gear, has the PPE, if you like, but all the other stuff that is needed. We were caught napping on this one, and it's very sad. It's cost thousands of people's lives, and it must never happen again.
Yeah, no, it is very sad indeed. I've got to be honest. Let's hope it doesn't ever happen again. Thank you very much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
I hope that you enjoy the rest of your time in lockdown. Is this your regular lockdown attire, Brian?
No, I'm usually in t-shirts. This is special for you.
Ah, thank you. Feel impressed. I also have got dressed out of lycra, so I've tried to make an effort for you today as well. So there we go. We've done well. The minute I go off this, makeup off and everything. But look, thank you so much. I hope the concert goes ahead and everything happens next year. I've been asked to ask by a friend called Talia if they'll be supporting you next year at your concert.
They'll be too big to support us next year.
Okay, look, Brian May, thank you so much. It's been lovely having a chat with you.
Bless you. Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Bye-bye.
God bless.